Hi everyone, hope you're doing well. Welcome to another beer review, and this is another beer from the Irish box from Beer 52. And this was supposed to be like a little bit of a celebratory drink because tomorrow, even though you'll see this way after the fact, I'm going to be meeting up with Paul in Manchester and spending a few days there. That was going great until I found out that I'm going to be a little bit later than I want to be, so he's going to be waiting at the airport for a little while. And with all the weather that we've been having, it's of course disrupted the service. So it's going to be like a 2-hour bus ride, which is going to be fun. So I was planning on having a few drinks tonight. But when I'm travelling early in the morning on a bus without any toilets, I don't want to risk an upset stomach. Because it doesn't take much. And these next few days are going to probably kill me. But anyway, so I thought I'd have a couple of beers at least. And starting on the lower end of the scale, we've got a 7.2% Irish IPA from the guys over at the White Hag Brewing Company. And this is the Bran Sceolan. I'm not sure how that's pronounced, please excuse me. And enjoy White Hag seriously, I'm sure I will. Ingredients are water, barley, hops and yeast, and this is just described as an Irish IPA. So I'll quickly read you the blurb on the side. So the White Hag was a spiritual force from and of the earth, a representation of Mother Nature herself. She is present in everything through the water of the earth. And the beer itself, the Bran and Sceolan were the two wolfhounds of warrior Fionn Mac Cumbale, born to his aunt after she was magically transformed into an Irish wolfhound by her husband's ex-lover. Sounds like the best Jeremy Kyle episode ever. The story of these strong legends is as intense and complex as the flavours in this beer. Highly hopped, bitter, yet fresh and floral. Brewed and packaged by the White Hag Brewing Company, and it's got the French import information, as well as the German, the Mehrwegflasche. So White Hag seemed to be getting out there, and I did have one of their beers when I was in Dublin on like cask at a little pub, and I think it was one of their session IPAs, and for a session IPA it had such a nice body and was really bold in its hop profile. So when it's an intensely hopped IPA, fingers crossed it's going to be a lot more bold and a lot more hoppier. So let's have this, and I'll look at the best before date when I've poured it. But that's a very generous pour in the can, which is always appreciated. So let's see what we get with this one. So I've been enjoying the beers that I've had so far in the Beer 52 box, and I'm looking forward to this one. So it is a little bit hazy, but it's very golden. It looks crisp, clean, almost has that like look of a hazy lager to it. Slight amber hues, but it is more golden than anything else. But when I'm looking at this angle, those amber hues do come out nicely. Beer didn't really pour overhead, and I can smell the hops from here. But when you swizzle it around, it's a slightly off-white head. I'm sure it will reinforce when I put the rest of the can in there. But on the nose, that's lovely. It's got that very subtle resin character and pine needle, but big juicy fruits like watermelon, a little bit of peach, a little bit of mango. Not overtly tropical, but there are tropical undertones. Loads of citrus, big orange aroma coming through, and then like a slight pink grapefruit type character. Smells really nice. It's got a lovely golden malt character to it as well. I know that's a terrible way to describe malt, but it's got that like slightly biscuity bready edge. But it smells lovely. Let's give it a taste. Slanjivar. Well, that is nice. You know, with the big boom of like these hazy fruit barrel IPAs, it's nice to have an IPA like this, which, it's got big fruit flavours in there, but to me this has got loads of West Coast vibes with it. Lovely resiny piney tones coming through. There's that like slight dank oniony, garlicky flavour, which complements that pine edge really nicely. And then you get really nice citrusy hop character, and then the resin character comes through out in the back end, mixing with this lovely grapefruit-like flavour. Only thing I would say about this beer is the body is a little light for those flavours, but it just about holds those flavours enough, if that makes sense. But at 7.2%, I wouldn't really get it too much. There is like a very subtle ethanol character. Very, very subtle in the background, I won't lie. But it's not, you know, affecting the beer too much at all, to be honest. So when's the best before date in this one? 16th of the 1st, 2019. So, you know, it's not... I think that'd be a couple of months fresh if they're going off a year shelf life. Personally, I wouldn't keep hold of a beer like that for that long, if that is the case. But, yeah, it's not too bad. The, like, sort of resiny, oniony, garlicky flavour comes out a bit more. It's got, like, a very nice savoury tone to it. And it lingers on the back end. Not really drying, though, on the palate, which is nice. So let's pour the rest in, see what we get when it all gushes out. Always reminds me of a cream pie. Why did I have to bring vulgarity into one of these reviews when it didn't really need it? Anyway, I think that's all I'm going to get. And that has that's hazed up considerably, and you can see little bits and bobs floating around. So let's see if that's improved the flavour. And it has. It's obviously with those little bits and bobs and that suspended yeast, it's bolted up a little bit. So, you know, if you were to drink it, just pour it all in straight away. That's probably the best way you're going to experience this beer. That resiny pininess is coming out a lot more, and it's got that, like, caramelised onion flavour, which I really like. When it gets a bit too overboard and there's no, like, sweetness or fruitiness, then it's a little bit foul, which has happened a couple of times. But I think it helps with this beer. And it tastes a lot more mature, if that makes sense. Like a bit more bulky, a little bit more in your face. It's a bit more bold. The ABV is masked really, really nicely. And although I said when I was initially drinking it that the body was a little light, it's just when you pour it all in, it's a completely different experience. And it's a much better beer for that. That, like, I don't know what I was getting with that ethanol character, but that is not apparent at all now. That's deceptively drinkable for a 7.2% IPA. That's, you know, almost bordering on a double IPA. But yeah, I probably drank that first part of the beer a little bit too quick, to be honest, to really enjoy it. But yeah, I'm going to happily sip on this. I've got some pasta and pesto left over from lunch, so it's going to complement that sort of beer really nicely, I reckon. So yeah, I've learned something about this beer. Just when you get a can of this, just pour it all in. Don't worry about the little bits and bobs in there, because, you know, they wouldn't sell beers if there were things in there that would be harmful to you. Well, not knowingly anyway. I know some people don't like it when they get the yeast in the beer, and you can, you know, get, if the beer's not done properly, some infections, and it just, you know, upsets your stomach. But that is a great example of just get it all in the glass and enjoy it for what it is. It's a bit more bready. I'm getting like a sort of like a wholemeal floured bread crust flavour now, mixed with like this very subtle grapefruit character, which kind of works. So bready grapefruit, I wonder what that would taste like. Probably foul if you were to literally do that, but not recommended. But yeah, I think that's a lovely little beer. So that's the White Hag Brewing Company's Bran Sceolan Irish IPA. Yeah, it's just something a little bit different to what a lot of people are doing in terms of IPAs. You know, going for these like Merc bombs and haze for days, you know, unclear for years, that sort of stuff, which is all good because I love those beers. But it's just nice every now and then to have something that's got a little bit more of like a West Coast vibe. So I'm all for it, and that's a really nice example. So in terms of a rating then on White Hag's Bran and Sceolan, yeah, I'm going to give that an 8 out of 10. I'd have that again. I'd love to try that on like tap. I really would. Like half of that in a mid-session, that would be really nice. Yeah, if you've tried this beer, as always, let me know your thoughts and opinions. If you subscribe to the Beer 52 box, I'd always love to hear your thoughts and opinions on your experience with them. If you want to give them a try, I'm going to put my referral link down below, but I'm going to give a big shout out to my mate Craig over at Kent Beer Reviews because he actually gifted me this box. So it's only fair that I give him the shout out, and I'm sure he may review this. So if he has, by the time I've uploaded this video, then I'll put his review down below. But definitely check him out, and if I can get hold of his referral link, I'll include that down below also. So yeah, check out my IPA playlist, check out my Irish beer playlist, and more importantly, I hope you'll join me next time for another beer review. So thank you guys for watching. I shall hopefully see you all later. Cheers.